Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News Today starts now.
Good morning, Mid-Missouri. I'm Angie Bailey. Thanks for waking up with us. Today is April 4th.
Yep, it is 5 a.m. on the dot. I'm Jordan Berger.
And I'm Tim Schmidt. Our weather today for your election day looks to have rain possible this morning and then maybe even some sunshine into the afternoon. Now, if we get into the 70s for temperatures today, we could be looking at stronger storms this evening. So we actually do not want the air to get too warm today. Otherwise, we'd be looking at damaging wind and hail chances here in the mid part of the state. So that's something we'll be tracking today. Our current temperatures are right now in the low 50s. 51 is the temperature in Columbia. It's 53 in Jefferson City and Eldon. 45 to 48, the temperature from Moberly to Centralia and to Fayette. A look at our forecast for the coming hours and for the rest of this week. It's here in a few minutes.
Says that more than 1,400 people have submitted absentee ballots for Election Day today. She tweeted a graph of the numbers of absentee ballots since 2016 for the April election. 2020 is not included because the pandemic skewed those numbers. You can see the numbers of absentee ballots have gone up every year since 2017. And the clerk says you have until 7 this evening to turn in those absentee ballots. Remember, we have that voter guide that we put together for KOMU.com, and it breaks down the list of candidates and propositions from around mid-Missouri. You can also use it to find your polling place if you don't know. To access that voter guide, go to KOMU.com and click on the Smart Decision banner. And it is Election Day here in Missouri. Polls open at 6 this morning. KOMU 8's Ellie DeBeer joins us live from outside the Boone County Government Center to tell us what people can expect at the polls.
Hey, good morning. The polls will stay open until 7 p.m. tonight, and there are a bunch of different places you can vote in Boone County. Behind me is the Boone County Government Center, just one of the places that you can vote. Let's take a look at some of the items on the agenda for voting for Boone County voters. You will get to weigh in on a 2% use tax on out-of-state online purchases from the city of Columbia. Money from the tax would go towards capital improvements, parks, transportation, and public safety. Boone County voters will also get to vote on an use tax about 6% from the county, rather. Voters will also get to decide on an $80 million school bond for Columbia Public Schools, which would not increase taxes. If approved, the bond would fund 2 new elementary schools, renovations at the Columbia Area Career Center, and other projects. Voters in Boone County will also be asked to vote on candidates for the Columbia School Board, the Centralia R6 Board of Education, and the Harrisburg R8 Board of Education. There will also be votes for candidates running for mayor of both Ashland and Hallsville. The Boone County Clerk has some recommendations to make sure you don't wait for too long to vote.
We've sent out sample ballots over the last month, and that also has your polling place notification. Just make sure that that is all correct and that you know what polling place you're headed to so that you don't have a long wait trying to get that sorted out once you get to the polling location.
We'll have special live election coverage for you all day today. Be sure to follow KOMU 8 News on air and online so you can get the latest election updates. Reporting live in Columbia, Ellie DeBeer, KOMU 8 News.
All right, Ellie, thank you. The Columbia City Council voted unanimously last night to let voters decide later this year whether to remove the current ban on roll carts. Now, council members refused to remove the ban themselves in a 4-3 vote. You may remember the city clerk approved a petition last month with more than 3,000 signatures asking to repeal that 2016 voter ruling that banned roll carts. Now, members of the public voiced different opinions about those roll carts. Meanwhile, a labor union representative said workers just want what's best for their customers.
You have to get that roll cart all the way out there. Then when it's emptied, you got to get it all the way back. And that's harder to do than just put out the bags and then they're gone.
So this evening, please use your vote to remove the ordinance banning roll carts and go into your upcoming work session with all of the options open for discussion.
However council decides tonight, we just ask that they encourage staff to have a real bargaining conversation. Our members are in the same place as the ratepayers. We want trash that's picked up efficiently, reliably, and not at too much cost.
Now, Columbia voters will get to weigh in on that roll cart debate in the August election.
The City Council unanimously approved the rezoning and development plans for a new subdivision that will be known as Legacy Farms. The 532-lot project includes townhomes as well as single and multifamily housing. It's west of Sinclair Road. The developer will buy the property from MU. Before yesterday's vote, the property was owned as agricultural land. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt, along with the AGs from Arizona and Louisiana, are suing the Biden administration for ending the COVID immigration policy, Title 42. The policy allows officials to turn away migrants because of the pandemic. The Attorney General argues its elimination violates the Administrative Procedure Act and it is arbitrary and capricious. They also claim the Biden administration did not conduct the required notice and comment process before making the change. In a statement, Schmitt said the revocation of will result in an unprecedented crisis at the U.S. southern border that will have a devastating impact not just on border states, but across the country. The CDC announced the termination of Title 42 on Friday, but it won't officially go into effect until May 23rd. The lawsuit comes as COVID cases continue to decrease around the country.
Well, New York police had an unusual call on Sunday. They responded to a call of a seal pup far from home, stranded in traffic. It took a team of officers and a marine mammal rescue expert an hour and a half to corral the pup into a crate and get it to safety. The director of the New York Marine Rescue Center says they think the gray seal likely climbed a fishing ladder to get from the river to the road.
It sounds odd, but sometimes they do wander. These guys are so inquisitive at this age, but we've rescued seals in people's backyards, under people's vehicles. So if the water's near, they'll tend to kind of wander.
Oh, it's adorable. She says the pup seems to be doing just fine and will likely be released back into the wild within a week. So glad that it's safe and sound, though. I mean,
not a problem we have here.
No.
No seals sneaking around.
I typically hear of that happening in California, though, not on the other coast.
Sure.
So those are always interesting things to hear. So you just didn't know that those lived there. A look at your forecast. It's coming up here in a few minutes, and it looks like your wind gusts outside are going to be picking up over the coming days. Today, it's not a windy day, but Wednesday through Friday, wind gusts could be ranging anywhere from 30 to 40 miles per hour. We also have a chance for thunderstorms today. We'll be tracking those coming up in your forecast.
Ukrainian President Zelensky held a video address on Monday, coming up what he's saying about the casualties in his country.
But first, you're looking live over downtown Columbia at 5:07 on this Tuesday morning. We'll be right back.